69 godless years. 7 years prior to that, war-torn. And throw in a revolution as well. During those 69 years, without God in their lives, a world war broke out. Many people lost their lives, many from their own government. 20 million lost their lives because of their own government killing them. This is the sad reality of what Russia had to deal with as it went through the Soviet Union and through various things. They really saw the lowest of the lows. So how on earth did Russia turn from that situation to a country that now houses 20,000 LDS members? This is their story. First, we have to look back. 1922 is when the Soviet Union began. And thus began those 69 years without God. As we can see here, they used a lot of propaganda. This shows one of their cosmonauts or astronauts up in space, and the reading there says, "There is no God." People weren't allowed to believe in God, and the government simply would not allow it. This was a hard time. Religion was kept purely just by the older people in secret teaching their children. That was the only way that religion in any way, shape, or form survived. As you can see at the bottom of this slide here, there are some churches, bringing up the fact that there used to be a God in Russia. Beautiful churches dot that land. Unbelievable architecture. But for that period of time, they were told that God simply did not exist. 1991 came along and the Soviet Union collapsed. Elder Russell M. Nelson, he had visited Russia several times prior as a doctor, so he already had good relations with the people. He went over there representing the church this time. He met with one of the officials and asked about, okay, we want to start a religion now that God is allowed. And they said, that's great. You need 20 members of your religion to sign a petition in a given political district. He said, well, that gives us a problem. That's a chicken and the egg problem. How do we get members there if we can't send missionaries? And the official looked at him and, according to Elder Nelson, said, that, sir, is your problem. Of course, we know that simple laws of man will not stop God's work. When God wants people to hear the gospel, they will hear it. This is a picture of me serving in Russia. This is in Wyborg, Russia. Elder Nelson spoke of individuals, pioneers, who led the way for the gospel to be allowed into Russia. I had the opportunity to speak to one of those pioneers. Her name was Sister Biezikova. I met with her in this area and had a great conversation with her, and she just really opened up. It was kind of surprising the way that she told her story. Sister Biezikova, she's a professional ping pong player. A little out of her prime now, but back in the day, she was a professional ping pong player. She went outside of her country. Her country is right next, or her city is right next to Finland. She went outside of her city to Finland for a ping pong tournament. While at that tournament, she stumbled upon some missionaries. I don't know the circumstances of that entirely, but she found the missionaries. She liked what she heard, and she wanted to learn more. So over the next few months, even into about a year's long, she would go out of country, grab the missionaries, and smuggle them back across the border under the pretense that they were playing ping pong. Pretty crazy. But what an example, what a pioneer. She used a talent that God had given her, ping pong. Pretty simple talent that God was able to use through her to then spark the gospel spreading throughout Russia. Russia now claims, like I said, 20,000 members. There are 8 missions and 2 stakes. Russia endured some of the worst circumstances possible. but they endured. They survived. Now the gospel can go there. When first I gave the speech, it was near the Olympics, and it was more interesting because the Olympics were happening, the world was focused on Russia. Now the world is again focused on Russia, and it's not quite as good of circumstances. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. But I know that the members there are strong. I know that God wants that country to know of him. And so I don't believe that a war will break out or things will turn completely bad, because this is a time that God has set apart for those people, those saints, to know of him. And I truly do believe that. Thank you.